Can we trust Josh Jacobs today? Can we trust Phillip Rivers today? Do we care about the weather? Let's find out right now on Fantasy Football Today Express. All right, it is week 15. It is Sunday, and we are ready to set those lineups. Welcome, everyone. Adam Azer and Heath Cummings. All right, so it's cold, Heath. It's really, really cold. Any changes to your rankings based on weather?
The weather outside is frightful.
Yeah.
For sure. And I have mostly just let the over-unders speak to the temperature, because those do often go down when the air gets colder. I do not see a place where I think precipitation is going to change the passing game. I don't see a place where I think wind is going to change the passing game. But it probably should be said that we have several teams that have over-unders much, much lower than what you would anticipate. And that game in Chicago is going to be brutal. I think the Chargers are going to be very cold in Kansas City. Packers-Bears it's not Packers-Bears this week. Where else is it cold? Philadelphia is, I think, is really cold.
Well, I mean, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning to the sound of a snowplow. So it's snowing here. Apparently in New York. Apparently it's going to stop before the game starts. But New York, Philadelphia, cold as heck. Probably no snow during the game. You know, if you have Tua in a super flex league, he is so bad in cold weather throughout his career, and it's going to be really cold there on Monday. So it's the Northeast, essentially. Could be a little rainy in Seattle. It's been some bad weather there.
It's rained there before.
Yeah, but it's been really rainy there. But I would just say the Northeast is very cold, and the Midwest. I mean, it's cold. It's really cold today. We'll see. I thought the weather was going to have more of an effect last week. It didn't at all. So I guess not much to say, Heath. I mean,
no, I don't really think so. I think that the one that looks the most concerning is the Commanders and the Giants, which is a little bit concerning for me because I'm extremely high on Jackson Dart. But that's also the one where the over-under hasn't really changed that much. It's still 46.5. We've got games in the 30s this week.
All right.
So they don't seem to be concerned, the odds makers or the bettors at least, that Jackson Dart's not just going to have a great day.
All right, let's fly through the news now. Devon Achane expected to play. Start him. Okay, Josh Jacobs is expected to play at Denver. It's a tough matchup, and they've got a game, as Adam Schefter pointed out. They're mindful that they have a game on Saturday next week. Starter sit Josh Jacobs.
So I think I was earlier in the week a little lower on him than consensus. I've lowered him a little bit more. He's going to be right around RB 18 for me. So I think if you have a Woody Marks, I'd start him over Josh Jacobs. If you have a Quinshon Judkins or an RJ Harvey, I would start them over Josh Jacobs. In full PPR, I'd rather start Ashton Genty. I'd certainly rather start Travis Etienne. We love him this week, but I can't quite get to the point of starting Ken Walker, who knows how many touches he's going to have even when he's healthy, or Kyron Williams, or Travion Henderson, or DeAndre Swift, or Tyrone Tracy. Now, I think with all of those guys, they have higher floors than Jacobs does. So it might be as simple as if you have Kyle Pitts on your team, just go ahead and play the guy with the better floor. If you're playing against Kyle Pitts, you probably had to aim for a little upside this week.
Okay. I think Jacobs is the toughest call of the week, and we'll talk about him a lot on the Sunday morning live stream, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/fantasyfootball today. Christian McCaffrey is expected to play. You can start him. Chris Rodriguez, 1 o'clock game, so we'll know, but he's going to test his groin injury pregame. He may not play, and we know, it's the best matchup in fantasy, but we're not super high on Commanders running back. But if he's out, would you think about starting Bill?
So Bill would be ranked higher if Rodriguez is out than Rodriguez is right now. Partially because Bill might actually catch 1 or 2 passes, partially because they won't have to split the work up in the running game quite as much if Rodriguez isn't there. I think I'd probably have Bill somewhere right behind the Tony Pollard, Kyle Manaong guy. I still might like both Giants running backs more, but certainly I'd like Tyrone Tracy more. He'd be in the flex conversation, not in the starting running back conversation.
All right, a few more running back notes. The Chargers are going to ride the hot hand at running back. Would you start Tyrone Tracy Jr. or Amarian Hampton?
I've got Hampton one spot higher than Tracy.
But behind Jacobs.
No, I've got Tracy one spot higher than Hampton. I'm sorry, both behind Jacobs.
Okay. Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson are out. Was that an upgrade? Jerome Ford's on IR, but was that an upgrade for Judkins?
That is certainly an upgrade for Judkins. I also think wind chills below 0 probably mean that I wouldn't really want to try to tackle Quinshon Judkins when the wind chill is below 0. So yeah, it should be a little more work in the passing game in a decent day for him to run.
Yeah, that one's going to be really cold. That's Chicago, Cleveland at Chicago. Nick Chubb is not expected to play, and Amari DiMercado is expected to play, Heath. And what does that mean at Houston?
That means if you've been riding the BAM train, you might want to consider hopping off. Looking at their last 2 full games that they played together, I think it was weeks 9 and 10. It was about a 37% rush share for BAM and 31% for DiMercado. And if you remember, DiMercado has been much more efficient running the football than BAM has. BAM's a 3.2, 3.3 yards per carry guy. DiMercado is averaging 7.8. He's broken several long ones. As of right now, and this will be updated throughout the morning, Knight is down to RB 35 for me. DiMercado is RB 45. So I'd really like to not start an Arizona running back if I could.
All right, we're going to take a break. Wide receiver news, quarterback news when we come back on Fantasy Football Today Express. All right, we're back. Brady Cook is going to start for the Jets, start the Jaguars DST. Phillip Rivers is expected to start for the Colts. He averaged 260 yards passing per game in his last season in the NFL. So Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, what are you doing? With Tyler Warren, Josh Downs, what are you doing here?
I think it's Tyler Warren, I feel just a little bit better about, and we were starting him anyways. He's always been in our top 12 this week. He's probably going to be closer. Really tough decision for me between Juwan Johnson, Theo Johnson, and Tyler Warren this morning. And earlier in the week, when we thought it was Riley Leonard, it was definitely for me going to be the Johnsons over Warren. I think he's right in that tight end 7-8 range. And I think most people who are starting Michael Pittman or Alec Pierce are doing so because I have to. And this gives you a little bit more hope for them as wide receiver 3s. This could be disastrous. Like, it might just go horribly wrong. But I think there's more potential upside for the pass catchers, particularly just in terms of catches and completed passes with Rivers at quarterback.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. Oh, by the way, Kenny Pickett starting for the Raiders today at Philadelphia. Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. We've been going the whole week based on that. T. Higgins is out. Again, not a surprise. The Bears are optimistic about Romo Dunze. Would you consider starting him? And is this, if he plays, is that the end of the Luther Burden show?
I wouldn't quite say the end of the Luther Burden show because he was getting 5 or 6 targets when Odunze was playing earlier. They had already started to play Burden more. Maybe it's the end of the DJ Moore show. I currently have Roma Dunze right around wide receiver 27. So a high-end wide receiver 3. I would start him over the Colts. I've got Burden behind Pittman, but still a borderline wide receiver 3.
All right. And Pat Bryant is out for Denver. So that could mean Troy Franklin gets his role back. Deebo Samuel was questionable with an illness, but I think he is expected to play. Yep. Quentin Johnston is questionable. That one, he might not play. Keep an eye on that. Devontae Adams is expected to play. Brandon Ayuk is out for the season, and Jake Ferguson is expected to play. That's a Sunday night game. Are you cool starting Jake Ferguson?
He's not a top 12 tight end for me anyway, so I'd really rather not. Theo Johnson, I think, is still available on the waiver wire. I'd much rather start Theo Johnson than Jake Ferguson.
All right, let's answer some questions now for a minute or two. JJ McCarthy or Marcus Mariota?
Mariota for sure.
Michael Wilson or Jawan Jennings?
Michael Wilson.
Kamani Vidal or Blake Corum?
Oof. Those guys are RB 40 and RB 41 for me. So back to back. Slight lean towards Corum for me.
I'll take a lean toward Vidal. Corum almost never catches a pass, so that will be my tiebreaker.
It's
there.
just I could see, and it might be like the third running back again, but this should be a game. I think we're still gonna have a bunch of running back touches for the Rams.
Yeah,
I think so.
The Lions have the best.
They do.
They're the number one team against running backs, and their secondary is just torn apart right now. But the Rams always run the ball. Doesn't matter who
right.
Caleb Williams or Sam Darnold.
We get another very, very, very close one. I've got Caleb.
All right. Full PPR, Breece Hall or Romo Dunze or Luther Burden? Ooh.
I would go Breece Hall.
Yeah. Okay, another Breece Hall. Breece Hall, Jordan Addison, or Ricky Pearsall?
Well, you guys are making me say start Breece Hall a lot more than I was expecting.
I know. We really don't want to, but in this case we will. Defense here. The Browns at Chicago, the Panthers, or the Saints in their matchup?
I think those are all good options. I have to pull my defensive rankings up. Adam always knows that because I don't memorize that.
Don't like the Browns. The Browns have been that good lately, and the Bears are one of the worst matchups.
I don't really mind the Browns. I don't like the Panthers. So if you wanted to get away from the Browns, I would definitely go. I don't really like the Saints. I would definitely start the Browns.
Maybe I go to the Browns. All right.
Yeah.
I don't like any of them.
What?
I don't like any of them. Last one, start two. Javonte Williams, Rico Dowdle, Travion Henderson, Devin Neal, Quinshon Judkins.
I definitely am starting Javonte and Dowdle.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You need more help? Tune in at 11 a.m. Eastern, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday. We'll see you there.